Hey everybody, welcome back to Jönköping, Sweden. I promise no more rapping for the moment. We absolutely promise. But we are here at DreamHack 2011 Summer Elmia Convention Center, an amazing event going on so far. 2 full days, or a day and a half so far of carnage in the League of Legends on Summoner's Rift. Just going up for the Season 1 championship here. $100,000 tournament. We've already had 3 teams now to go home, sadly. It's something that has to happen. Game finally falling.
But Game is still going to play for the fifth place.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Yeah, they have no chance to actually win the tournament anymore at this point, unfortunately. As you can hear as well, I got a little excited yesterday. It happens, so I'm just going to sound like a squeaky duck today.
All right, sounds good. Let's see what we got on our picks and bans. We'll see if we can get these guys going right now.
Yep, the team seems to be ready. I'm giving the go right now.
All right. I'm going to throw down a little info here just to clarify. We're going to give some of the numbers. We'll give the actual numbers later, but we'd like to let everybody know what's going on in the stream and what happened. Unique means new clicks. A new person has viewed it. And we actually had 900,000 unique views on the stream yesterday, which is absolutely amazing. 184,000 concurrent, which means watching at the same time, which is absolutely amazing. I'd like everybody to give themselves a round of applause because I know you guys also helping out your friends. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for this. Congratulations and great job to everybody here. You guys are also helping this out down in the LAN center, watching on your computers and whatnot. Also up here watching the games, and we could not have done this without the community. Right now we got these guys setting up for their picks and bans. We're going to see what they're doing.
Well, also, unfortunately, we had a player drop out.
Team switch.
I think the teams are actually in the right order this time, but we did have a player drop out of Champion Select, so I can see a couple of admins standing behind SPC over there, so it should be fixed any moment.
Resolved instantly. Also, Riot Pendragon and Riot Tamid. That is going to be Riot Pendragon and Riot Tamid on Twitter. Go ahead and do a pound Esports, pound League of Legends to them to win your Viking Tryndamere skin. You're going to be doing that within the next 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to have your chance to get it before it comes out on the 24th. So go ahead, get those tweets going out. I think I heard Pendragon got like 3,500 new followers in the matter of the time that we sent that out last time. So go ahead, spam those guys on the Twitter. And as we are jumping back into our picks and bans, we do have the obvious Alistar.
Yes.
Obvious Alistar is obvious. And the obvious Nidalee.
Very obvious as well. Yep. So that's the 2-star AP picks band right there. But we have not yet seen Shushei's Gragas this tournament, and that is the AP champion he became famous for. Amumu ban makes perfect sense against the... Amumu is just such a strong initiator, such a strong jungle as well. But Cyanide is actually more known for his Jarvan at the moment. So we'll see. Twisted Fate ban, probably against Big Fat.
Very good band so far, definitely countering each other well at this point. They have to figure it out what's going on. And we also heard that Fnatic said if, you know, they got first pick, or how did that go down?
So if they have first pick, they said they're going to leave Nidalee open.
Yes.
And pick her and play her.
Didn't
happen. See if they'll actually do it well.
Kind of went the other way.
CLG has first pick, so...
Indeed.
Vladimir ban, that's against xPeke, so they did pay attention to the fact that xPeke is now here, and a Rumble ban from the European team. Interesting.
That's another one we did hear for to come out for the Rumble ban as well. We were talking to Trieskimo earlier, and he said, you're probably going to see a Rumble ban in this game as well. Saintvicious in the jungle looks like he's going to keep Nunu, and they will get that as the first pick. Saintvicious is the jungler for CLG. Lamia going with Ashe, the AD carry already on the team, so we'll have to see how they really build around that at this point.
I expect to see a Jarvan pick for Cyanide right now because they don't want to leave Jarvan open for the American team. They can run Jarvan very successfully in top lane, whereas in the European team, Jarvan is the only remaining tanky jungler that makes sense. So I really expect the Jarvan pick right now. They should not leave it open and risk CLG picking it away from them. The Ashe is a little bit surprising. Lamia is much more well known for his misfortune. Interesting. Okay.
That could be the pick against Big Fat to take that Ashe away, and then there could be an obvious switch between these two again, and Anivia as well, not letting that go to Hotshot as well, or either, I should say.
Against Big Fat, Big Fat, I think the Anivia as well. Well, gonna have to see what their jungle pick is going to be then. There are many options. They're leaving Vayne open once more. Vayne has been dominating yesterday, but they don't seem to be very scared of her.
Oh, switching over to Sona.
Okay, that Swain is going to be most likely for Hotshot.
Yes, of course. We did see him playing Swain a few times in the regionals for North America. Playing it very well, usually getting a top solo to himself. We'll have to see if they actually get that hard carry in middle. We'll have to see if they actually choose to let Hotshot go middle with Swain in the end.
The Sona pick tells me that they are trying to do a mask disable strategy. They have the Absolute Zero from Nunu, they have Nevermove from Swain, and Sona's Crescendo as well. That is very, very dangerous to Fnatic if they actually let them come in range. And CLG have shown that they have very good coordination with those kinds of strategies.
So those picks will be locked in, and we're going to see Chauster taking that for HotshotGG most likely on the Swain. And xPeke and Mellisan to now pick. Looks like we have a Janna on the board as well. Now waiting for xPeke. As we've mentioned before, finally here was able to make all of his flights and no delays on this time. Yeah. And now he's going to be playing in the game. We Will Failer was filling in for him yesterday and did quite a good job. But there it is, as you called it, you know, the Jarvan pick. And they actually picked it kind of later than earlier, but they were still safe on that. Yeah, they were.
There's probably a reason why CLG didn't want to pick the Jarvan away from it. It would have really, really hurt them because they need that tanky jungler. And with Amumu banned and Nunu picked and Alistar banned, with Jarvan picked, there wouldn't have been a strong jungler left, a strong tanky jungler left. Janna on Mellisan is Janna is Mellisan's favorite support, so he's going to be happy. Janna Ash lane, famously strong. So that is good news for Fnatic for the bottom lane. And there's the Vayne now. They still left it open, but yeah, they can't really run a dual AD. And no, no, you're trolling. Come on, really?
We'll see what he does here. Possibly trolling. Hotshot actually going for Mundo, but you know,
Mundo.
Who says no? Shushei left the pick, and he does not have his Alistar. What are you thinking for Shushei at this point?
Gragas.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
That would be. It would be good. They don't have too much tank on their team right now. It's kind of an easily focused team. If you just go around Anivia's Anivia's ultimate is going to be able to kind of hinder that movement if they try to rush down any of the carries on the team. But
the trick is Anivia wall, Gragas ultimate behind the wall, push someone over the wall.
We saw that happen to Vlad within the replays that's going on.
Plus,
during the day.
With the three strong lockdown AoE champions, you need dispersal, and Gragas has that dispersal on his ultimate. So I really expect to see a Gragas pick right now.
Indeed. So it looks like Chauster may take that Hotshot or possibly switch it around Hotshot or to the Mundo to Elementz. We'll have to see how they do that. And he actually goes for the Malzahar. They do have quite a tanky team, so that null zone is going to help to break down that HP.
Against Mundo, it's probably a counter pick to Mundo, actually, if they are actually scared of Mundo. So Mundo, well, that was a good Mundo, wasn't it? What Mundo actually does is he shuts down a top lane, kind of like lane. Because you can
stand in the bush all day and throw cleavers.
You know what the ABCs of Mundo are? Always be cleaving. That is the ABCs of Mundo. And if you can do that, you can shut down a lane so hard. And that's probably what we're going to be seeing from Mundo.
So we see the switches around here. Cyanide obviously taking, as we called before, the Jarvan in the jungle. Lamia on Ashe. Pike is going to be the one taking that Malzahar. Mellisan, as you said, on his favorite support, I should say. Janna and Shushei going with the Anivia. Known for? Or obviously an AP player, but...
Absolutely, yes. He is actually known for his creative play. That there isn't much room for creative play with Anivia except for the walls. I mean, it's straightforward otherwise. It's R into E, you know? And do massive, massive damage.
Yep. So we have Saintvicious in the jungle as well. bigfatlp is going to be taking that Vayne, as we thought. And Chauster, switching up to the Mundo as HotshotGG takes Swain, as we thought before. And Elementz is going to be the support as well. Usually, you know, playing the Alistar role, the support role, as always.
I hope that his W key hasn't been worn out yet, because he's going to be needing it. People joke that Sona isn't more than, you know, just spam W for massive heal. It's not as easy as that. With supports like Janna and Sona, which is Jonah obviously, it's very important to decide when you want to use your ultimate in team fights. If you are going to open with it, if you're going to leave it for safe later in the team fight, and that actually takes quite a lot of skill.
Or you can pull the friendly Janna, as we've seen a few times in the tournament, where they just blasted the opposing team over the wall and the team fight is over. And you're not able to get any kills out of that. So you actually have to be careful when you use it as well, because it also can negate the fact that you actually want it to have to happen, which is to debilitate what the person wants to do and push them over the wall, and they're able to get away. So we're going to have to see.
What's your prediction, Rivington? This is Europe versus America. This is the game that decides whether there's going to be 2 or just 1 European team in the brackets. I have a favorite in this game. I don't think it's
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
What's your prediction?
It's definitely going to be a tough game. There's a lot of health on the side of CLG, and they're going to be able to use that in their favor. Swain really being able to heal himself. Mundo with the ultimate also being able to heal himself in a quick matter of time. Nunu turn around, consume something right quick, heal himself up. So they're going to be able to get into a fight, poke around, and then just walk back out with any real heal happening to Fnatic. So they could just try to get in there, initiate the fight, let the cooldowns go down, get back to Sona, let Swain do his thing, even with a blue buff, and then they're right back in the fight, you know, with Fnatic 50% down.
We saw that yesterday from CLG.
Yep.
These sustained comps are extremely, extremely hard to fight against, and well, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how Fnatic deal with it. And we are into the last fight of Europe versus America here in the relegation matches. Fnatic versus CLG. Round of applause for the teams.
So you can see it looks like all are kind of just heading out towards middle here. They're going to see if they can get sight, and they do. There's Vayne trying to go top, but she is seen. Big Fat will stop there. Cleaver going out, just misses Mellisan there. So they're going to poke each other here for a little bit. A good shield by Janna onto Shushei. Would have stopped that Cleaver from doing too much damage. And as you see, as Mundo throws Cleavers, he is going to use a little bit of his health up. That is how Mundo works. Not being able to hit his Cleavers whatsoever right now. And he's just trying to poke around. It's not really going to cost him too much. He can just kind of sit back and do what he wants to do. He has Sona right behind him to cast off some spells.
What is Cyanide doing?
Dancing it around.
All right.
The quick slash D. So it looks like they really aren't going to initiate anything. No real jungle invasion here. We can see 2 wards, 4 wards. We have 3 in the hands of Sona and 1 in the hands of Nunu.
And
also,
if you
2 wards in the hands of Jonah. Yeah,
if you look at the items that we bought here, we really don't see that much of a metagame difference anymore. We see the difference in the picks, but the items that they start with are extremely, extremely similar at this point. Boots and 3 pots for all the carries, and the only difference here being the Jarvan. The jungler has to start with a cloth armor and 5 pots, whereas Nunu with his consume can actually afford to buy boots and a ward.
Yeah, that boots and 3 pots really seems to just be the taster's choice these days. If you are the carry, you're going to be able to stay in lane for another 600 HP and soak up the experience. The carry always being able to do a little bit more damage, you know, off the bat on the minion, so it's not as hard to last hit. And we're going to have to see, it's going to be Malzahar versus Swain in mid. That's going to be really good early lane for Malzahar. The Malefic Visions and just being able to attack Swain all the time. He is going to be able to regen a little bit off of his passive, though, and keep that mana buffed up. Anivia going top and not middle, so we'll have to see how that plays off against Chauster, as he can just keep cleaving onto Anivia if he's not hit with that Ice Ball.
And bottom lane we have Ashe and Janna, famous bottom lane. The shield obviously giving you a damage boost as well, which is just great on Ashe, who can turn on these slow arrows and keep putting out the damage for the whole duration of the shield, and the volley is also buffed by the shield.
You see Nunu kind of invading here, giving Jarvan a hard time. They both have their blues, so they're doing pretty well. He's just really trying to mess with the timing. He has to be careful that he doesn't really mess himself up as well. He's going to go up to the top here and see what they can do for some damage. Looks like he's going to rush this one quite quickly, get that Ice Blast off. Can he get the damage down? It's L1 and back, and he dodged the one from Shushei, and the Cleaver misses as well. Nice dodge there, well being slowed. Cleaver's coming up quite quickly. Wow, huge amount of damage. I believe he got a crit auto attack on that one. A very nice hit. Chauster coming up quite luckily on that, and then they got the Cleaver to land as well. Another Ice Blast coming out. Could they have the first blood here? And a flash has been expended by Shushei as they are playing a very aggressive top. Jarvan looking to come gather together here in the ward in the bush, and he's going to let him know, yeah, I got that warded, and you're about to take some damage. He is going to try and force the push here from Shushei to come down, and it looks like they're going to be able to focus Jarvan. This could be first blood. Another flash has been expended. 2v2 situation, and very much so in favor of CLG at this point in time. Malzahar to come up now. Malefic Visions on Saintvicious, and this could absolutely go in the other direction. I don't think he's going to go down. He has quite a bit of health. Anivia down to a bar of health, about 50 HP on that one. Jarvan coming in with a flag toss onto Mundo, and it could be the first one. There it is, first blood in favor of Fnatic during this game. 4 minutes in, and it looks like xPeke is able to come up big on that one. I'm going to start watching your screen because I'm a little bit in the future here on what I'm watching.
That's how you get your reps so good as well, because you actually get your rhymes from the future. Is that how it works? Okay, very good. Yes, that was very, very nice. That looked very painful for Fnatic at first, especially with all the harass that Mundo can do. And that's what I said, that's what Mundo does on the top lane. He just shuts it down. The thing is, Mundo in the top lane, the farm on Mundo is just not going to be useful in a coordinated game. Mundo is just going to be shut down anyway in team fights. And now that Fnatic Shushei has a little breathing room, he can actually catch up with creep kills then.
Yeah, that was a very good job. We saw Janna dropping some wards down bottom, so they're still already trying to get control of the map early in the game. Jarvan continuing to go around his jungle and provide his take down his wraiths again. Continues his experience and most likely getting a lot of experience from that kill as well. He did get an assist, and creep score right now goes to Vayne. That's going to be down bottom with the assistance of Sona. Usually you see that bottom lane at this tier, your support and your carry, one of your AD carries usually, or AP if that's how it is. And a good push here by these two. Sona doing a little bit of damage. Elementz playing a pretty aggressive Sona at this point in time, and then just heading back into the bush, keeping that. You can see they're kind of mirroring each other's play right now in that bottom lane. The support in the bush and the carries just kind of duking it out. Few hits. There's Sona going back for some damage. Again, a very nice quick shield by Janna as well. And, you know, the gameplay is just going in favor of, at this point, obviously Fnatic, but one kill in 5 minutes in the game really is not going to mean much unless they can continue to carry off of this within the next few minutes.
It looks mid lane is slightly going in favor of Fnatic here with 34 creep kills for Malzahar to, well, 31 now for Swain. Malzahar needs to make something happen before Swain hits level 6 and gets a blue buff, because at that point you just cannot.
He actually just
harass. Yeah, he just hit level 6 now. Once he has a blue buff, there's no way that you can out harass him anymore, because he just turns into a giant bird and eats stuff, and that's, you know, that's not pleasant for stuff. Bot lane, again, very nice aggressive play from Sona, like you mentioned. This is a big difference between Europe and America, that the supports in America are much more aggressive than in Europe. In Europe, they really just sit in the bush and do nothing. And I believe that America actually has the better idea here. The support needs to play aggressively to keep the enemy carry from farming.
Yeah, especially in a situation like this, you have Sona versus Janna. Janna, no real sustained heal to give out to her team. Sona being able to do that all the time. I think it's Sona. Janna really not being able to get the heal to her team. Sona is, and you see very aggressive on that one, taking some damage, healing herself, and Big Fat as she gets back into the bush. Let's see what we have around the map. Looks like Swain and Malzahar are still in middle, and you can see that Fnatic has actually picked up 2 ignites once they saw that a Mundo was grabbed. So they're really going to be able to, they really have to adjust that for, you know, when Swain gets in the fight and when Mundo gets in the fight. They're not going to be able to use it on both on one, because that's not really going to help them out too much. So they have to be able to vary in which position they use that. And that's really going to affect some positioning. Missing the null zone, but he will get the ultimate on. It's not going to do enough damage. Bring him down to half health. Going to go ahead and use a pod on there. Hotshot stays alive, and xPeke trying to do something for his team there and pick up a second kill. It's 7.8 thousand gold to 8.2k right now in favor of Fnatic with the 8.2. A good damage by Big Fat as we see Sona dropping back. Elementz has gone to base to pick up some more items and assist in that lane. It looks like Mundo has also backed in his lane. I don't think that up top Hotshot, or rather Shushei, sorry, has backed in his lane yet. So he's been grabbing XP the whole time. I'm going to head down to Mundo. He is level 6, however, so he's been able to get the experience required and still stay level in that lane.
Now, he definitely went back once to buy the makings of a catalyst,
yes.
but he did not die yet. No, he didn't even egg yet.
Right.
So yeah, he did have to go home once though, because he got brought very low. You want to keep that egg. You want to keep that for later. Nunu very aggressive here in Fnatic's jungle, taking the wolves there. And where is Jarvan? That's a good question. What is Jarvan doing? Oh, it looks like Jarvan may have disconnected actually. Nunu is coming in for a gank mid here, but xPeke is safe. That's unfortunate. It looks like we have a Jarvan disconnect.
We'll see what they can do. Pushing bottom lane here, it's going to be Sona and Vayne again. They just have those minions around the turret. It's not going to be too much that they can do about it. Still trying to grab those last hits. As I said before, the turret can hit a minion twice. Usually you can kind of time it to grab that for yourself if the minions are also around it. But it's also good for knowing to dive the tower. A lot of damage going on to Ashe. The condemn against the wall, and it looks like she is able to make it out in time. Big Fat trying to pick up a kill for his team there and bring it to 1-1. We'll have to see what Malzahar can do. I think he's just laying down some wards, and he has gone down. Yes, he has actually laid down a ward down to the bottom of the jungle. near Wraiths on CLG's side, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage there, knowing, you know, nobody's going to come from Wraiths and try to gank him in the middle. Null zone going down. He's trying to push the lane quite quickly as he's seen Swain has walked away. So it looks like xPeke is going to try and get to that turret as fast as possible. Swain kind of hovering, and he is going to get donated blue right there. Very nice job by Nunu. Very smart team play as well.
And now is when that lane is just going to start going against xPeke, because the Swain with blue buff cannot be harassed. It's just, it can't be done. You have to burst him down, you have to get a jungler in who can kill him, but because Fnatic's Cyanide disconnected there, unfortunately, that means he's not going to be high enough level to actually go in and do enough burst damage to just kill Swain before he can heal himself up again.
Right, still back in the game though. He was able to get back in quite quickly. Mundo and Anivia still kind of poking it out up top. Mundo does not seem to be hitting too many cleavers. He did get ice blasted once by Anivia, and that really helped him out. We can see Janna going back down bottom to help out the team. Sona possibly laying a ward in that bush, but being seen does not know there's a ward right where Elementz is standing. But it looks like no movement is going to be, nobody's going to converge on that position right now. Mid, and it is going to be the null zone taking down finally, you know,
nice.
Once, twice, 3 times a lady. He got it on the second one though, and he was able to take him down, getting him in the null zone that time. And you can see where the percentage damage really comes into play, especially with somebody like Swain who can continue to heal himself, but suppressed by the ultimate, isn't able to do that as well. He's going to get Malefic Visions down on this. With a huge minion wave, he's going to be able to do a substantial amount of damage to this turret.
And here we can see the power of xPeke. He is arguably the best AP player in Europe, and it really hurt Fnatic yesterday not to have him in the team. And you can see he knew exactly how much damage he could do against that Swain. He knew he could jump in and actually get a kill before Swain can start healing himself up again. That gave him a fresh blue buff as well, so that's not bad. That doesn't suck.
And that is going to help. And actually, you know, we think about it yesterday, We Will Felfer was actually playing Malzahar as well. So they kind of built that team composition of knowing that Malzahar could still assist the team, even though it wasn't, you know, it was a sub on Fnatic. So still going strong with that Malzahar in the Fnatic lineup is something that they like to have. Swain back into his lane, not really losing too much on that one. Still both level 9 between Shushei and HotshotGG. Missing the never move there. A little bit of an ult on Swain. Got him with the freeze. That's going to do some extra damage with that Ice Blast. And it looks like he is going to just gain that health back as he goes into bird form with his ultimate. xPeke going up top now to go against Mundo, and it looks like at level 9 he will be able to do quite a bit of damage here, especially with that no zone under Mundo. As Mundo activates his ultimate, he's going to be able to stay in lane. You know, one of the lowest ultimate cooldowns in the game, and it's very effective in the team fight as well. Later game, in the later game, I should say, when your cooldowns are at max.
So it looks like Shushei just said, I can't handle that Mundo top lane, I'm going to need a switch. And since Malza was ahead, he said, yeah, I feel confident, I can take on that Mundo. And wow, that is a lot of damage there that Chauster is taking for no reason at all, actually. And Peke being
an arrow hitting middle on Swain. There it is, Yasuo coming up all the way from the hands of Ashe. We'll have to see what they can do on this. Trying to get around, Jarvan coming. Will he be able to get the flag tossed down? The beautiful wall coming out of the hands of Shushei. They're going to stick him in his own Cataclysm right there. Very nice job, an arrow cross map. Wow, a very nice shot coming out of the hands of Lamia. Playing that one off perfectly. They were able to get to him in time. And then really the wall from Shushei. Just beautiful.
And top turret is fallen. That is 15.6k gold against 12.7. That is a nice advantage. Fnatic aren't doing badly at all here.
Yeah, 3-0 with 12 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, really helping him out. Mundo now forced to, you know, farm towards the bottom of his turret. He's kind of been pushed out of his lane a lot, so he can't really overextend and do what a Mundo usually does and just harass, not worry about anything, get out of there in time. Fnatic playing it very smart. The null zone plus an ignite, if he even wanted to kill Mundo, would be that much faster. And it looks like this mid turret will also go down. A quick silence on any of the minions. The null zone to take out any minions as they come up. And Hotshot is just going to kind of watch his turret go down. Unfortunately, it looks like Fnatic at this point in time has pretty good control of the map as they are continuing to push down these turrets. Nobody bottom lane as bigfatlp and Elementz just farm up by themselves here, and they're trying to push down into Swain. They want to stop this minion wave right now, and they're
so
going
close
to keep going.
So close. I don't think they had the flashes. Actually, they did have flash up, so they could have killed Hotshot on. They could have killed Hotshot on that arrowhead, but now they are safe enough to go for a dragon, and I don't think there's very much that CLG can do against this right now.
It's going to be the first dragon control here. It's going to be 6 minutes after this goes down. That's going to be 19:45 when the next dragon spawns. I've said this before, and just those few seconds of you knowing that dragon is coming up. Also, CLG does not have a ward on that. You know, that 10 seconds it's going to take you to get to Dragon is the 10 seconds you're going to need to grab it and also initiate a fight after if you have to. So if no ward is placed there by CLG, they're going to easily have that in the next 6 minutes. And we're going to go up top. Mundo overextended, as I said before. We're going to see how this how this goes for him. He may have to activate his ult, and they're not really going to go for it since they don't see too many members of CLG on the map right now. Nunu is actually quite far behind here. He's going to go ahead and smite. No, not even see the golems up top. And they do see him. They saw him as he moved past a few of those minions as they went down mid lane. I think he knows he was seen as well. And now Nunu is on the run with Blood Boil. Will he turn and go back up top? It's going to be a cat and mouse game here with Saintvicious in the jungle. He does not have that much mana, and it looks like he's going to force himself to go down, possibly trying to get all the way to the fountain. I don't think anybody's blue pilling at this time. He will not have his flag toss, so possibly if he can get down his slow, that debuff could count for him, and he's going to go right into the turret and be executed. Very smart idea by Saintvicious, not giving the other team money. He really wasn't gaining experience at that time, so he's just going to be able to get back. The cooldown, or the timer right now for the death is not that long. He'll be back in the game and right on his feet.
Okay, it looks like Peke now going for the blue buff of the enemy team, and only Mundo and Swain around. I don't think they can stop him. Oh, they may actually give it to Shushei. Oh, and
Wow.
too much damage on Peke. He has to flash over the wall. He is always actually gonna go down from the dot. Wow.
Yes, that was quite unfortunate, using his flash and still going down, but trying to get out. A valiant attempt at stealing the blue as well with Anivia on the other side. They weren't really able to see what was going down, so Anivia was also attacking, trying to get it for himself as well. Elementz placing some wards down by Dragon, so now they know it's going to be in the next 4 minutes-ish that Dragon will come up, so that ward will go down before Dragon comes up. Janna are going to place that vision ward down. Very nice, and they're just able to take it out, and that is something that, you know, plays on the mentality. You're like, oh, I just bought that ward, I just put it down, it goes down, you know, you're not really sure. Still, Vayne and Sona pushing bottom pretty hard as this mid turret gets taken down. Seems like they have a bit of control here.
Janna was there in time to defend the turret, and they didn't want to dive her because they didn't know how far Peke and Shushei were behind Janna, so that was a wise decision from CLG here. That turret wouldn't have gone down anytime soon.
A great turret control and roaming by the entire team right now. On Fnatic side, they have all their turrets up to two turrets down on CLG side at this point. And we will have to see Malzahar pushing mid, a little overextended, but he does feel confident with the ward placement around the map. They're going to be able to have good vision on this one. Anivia placing another one down in the tri-bush by bottom turret. And it looks like Jarvan or Anivia to take bottom lane up to themselves here, and they're going to have a quick push on this one. The ult from Anivia and the Q coming out of the hands of Jarvan. They're just able to wipe that minion wave out. Here, this turret's going to take quite a bit of damage, especially from Jarvan, just being able to slap at it a few times there. Anivia not really wanting to do too much damage to a turret, but you can see, I don't think Sona's going to be able to do anything on this one, but Vayne does come in, and we have Janna, Mellisan coming from the top, a 3v2 situation here. It looks like Malzahar will also join the fight, Swain and Saintvicious as well. The turret will go down, but it looks like no fight will ensue in that. And I think I just saw an Ashe arrow fly towards the left side of everybody there. It looks like, yes, Ashe's ult is down, and a quick cooldown there. We can see it's just ticking down. So a missed Ashe arrow there could have initiated a fight. I don't think they really would have wanted that. The entire team of CLG there would have been nice to, you know, almost have that initiation if somebody got split off, but I don't think they would have been able to use it right off.
Yeah, and this is the time that CLG needs to start worrying about Baron. With the null zone from Malza, Baron goes down really, really quickly. And if Fnatic manage to set up in position and you have a situation like this where Vayne and Sona are out of position, Baron could go down before CLG can rotate up and protect it.
Looks like Ashe is going to go ahead and grab that red buff. Very smart move there, donating the buffs to the team that requires it more. Top lane pushing pretty good right now for Fnatic. All their lanes are actually pushed quite well and causing CLG to stay back in their lanes. It's not bad for them. They're gaining experience. They're gaining gold. It's really when Fnatic starts to push a mid lane and congregate somewhere in top or bottom when they can't start to farm is really when CLG is going to start feeling the pain of what's been happening here. And it doesn't seem like they've really been able to gain a foothold on this. The Dragon has gone to Fnatic. And like I said, CLG's ward was taken down right away by Janna as she put down the vision ward. We're going to see Dragon coming up in 1 minute and 20 seconds about. So we'll just have to see where the movement from Fnatic comes on that. Their ward has gone down at Dragon, but they do have wards that have are invading the jungle. Like I said, the bottom tri-bush and that Wraith ward. A missed Ashe arrow coming out of the hands of Lamia. Not a problem, but that could be a quick initiation for them. They still have Malzahar's ultimate. Nivea's ultimate to go down and Jarvan. So that's not really something you can say, you know, the arrow's down, that's a good time to initiate. There's still a lot of things that can CC your team down and shut down the people that you want to be alive at that time.
And never mind the fact that Fnatic currently have a lot more damage output than CLG. So CLG really should be cautious about picking fights at this time.
Very good job. Saintvicious noticing that, you know, they're taking down our wards with visions right now. They're going to have that Oracle soon. They do see that Janna has it. He picks up an Oracle Elixir by himself, and that's going to allow him to see the wards, the opposing wards that are placed in the map. And right now you can see them rat packing around together, and they're trying to clear those wards out. Power in numbers right now for CLG, as like you said, Fnatic with the damage output, and there they are, already a dragon. Like I said, being able to prep for that time, and it looks like they're going to go middle and maybe to take out Mundo here before they go for that dragon.
I think they'll just push back the minion waves so that they have vision of mid lane and can see if the enemy team comes for the dragon.
Good call.
Very smart move there.
So here it is, the movement already. Dragon should be up in a matter of seconds. There it is, 45,
wow.
And bam, this is exactly what I said. You know, CLG has no idea this is happening. As you said, they push down the minion waves to get vision. Very smart play right now by Fnatic. That's 2 dragons to 0, 3 turrets to none, and 3 to 1 as we just crest the 20-minute mark.
And that's exactly the kind of play that I wanted to see from Fnatic. I mean, they are saying, look, we were playing without our full team yesterday. We unfortunately got knocked down to 3rd place, but that is not where we should be. Yeah. And we're going to show the people watching on stream and the people watching here in Elmia right now where we should be, which is, you know, I think at the very, very top. And they have been playing a pretty flawless game so far.
We'll have to see. They are getting a poke down on that. A clairvoyance going down on the blue buff. They may start to converge on this position, but it looks like it goes down pretty quick. If they still continue to get it, they did see the blue buff as well. And the Ash Arrow going down. Nobody's going to get that one. The blue buff is still alive, and Fnatic does make it there in time. They're able to take down that and steal the buff of CLG. Again, playing on the mentality, letting them know that we have control of your jungle. Try to farm your lanes, please.
Come and fight us. Come and fight us if you think you can. Spoiler warning, you can't. Jarvan was out of position, but there was no way CLG could have known that at that time, so they wisely chose not to fight there.
Looks like we're going to have a full team from CLG come in here, possibly going for the ultimate, and they are going to conduct the team fight here. The null zone going down on HotshotGG. He actually did not take that much damage. The channel from Saintvicious, I believe he was stopped out of that. Cataclysm coming out of the hands of Jarvan. Hotshot just a few inches away from going down. Swain falls by the hands of Lamia with Ashe, and it looks like no really more kills have happened. Vayne and Swain have both fallen. Janna went down as the support, really, before she could get her ult off on that one. And it looks like that one definitely went in the favor of Fnatic, only losing their support. The damage output staying alive. So Janna, you know, pretty much doing her job in that fight to continuously save her team. They are pretty low, but getting away low is better than not getting away dead.
Oh, Shushei, please be more careful. That, you know, if that would have been a kill, I would have just taken off my headset, walked over there and slapped him. You don't blue pill like that. You don't blue pill with no health. But, you know, he's Shushei. He probably knows what he's doing. Probably, hopefully.
We'll have to see here. Jarvan just taking out those top golems. Malzahar back to the top lane. They do have low health, but he doesn't want Mundo to take damage or give damage to that turret. It is the lowest turret right now that Fnatic has at this point in time. The mid turret is the second. The bottom one has taken the least amount of damage. So as I said before, the roam control of this team right now, together, power in numbers, moving by themselves. Ashe all by herself in mid as Janna comes up and gathers together with her there. They're just doing a very great job of entire map control. Their wards have kind of faded out now on CLG's side. They have one over by the blue, and we'll be able to see that's what CLG can see at this point in time. They have a ward up top, the Tri-Bush by Baron, and one down by the Wraiths as well in that default spot. And a few wards down there in mid as well. There's one at the Wraith spot to cover their own self, taking the red and going for their Wraiths, and nobody's invading the jungle, as well as right by that mid bush on the left side. Looks like Anivia's going to go ahead and take down the blue on their side for herself. And Mundo still kind of overextending, wants to get experience. He did go down early. He has been kind of gimped on that situation, so he really wants to get himself back in this game. He is one of the more tanky characters that CLG has, but we're really seeing that the game that they're trying to play here with the heal, go back, get out, get in, get out, is really not working for them. Because the fight is initiated, and they're made to stay in that fight. Cyanide doing a great job of containing everybody within the damage of Anivia's ult, and that's really not what you want to be sitting in. You're CC'd, slowed, you're going to get hit with more Anivia attacks, and that's just going to double the damage that she's doing, or increase the damage, I should say.
There's one thing I should quickly point out, as we're not yet seeing a team fight, about the team comp on Fnatic's side. There is something that people often don't... Oh, actually, the Ice Blast catching Nuno there. He jumps in for damage on Nunu, but yeah, they should not go for this game unless the Ash Arrow. Wow, Ash Arrow hits Nunu as well. They may try to go for it. Nunu is a tank. You should not focus this much damage on a tank, but if you can take him out, of course.
Able to take down
xPeke
Nunu.
can take his zone out on the side as well. So that's 2 for nothing for Fnatic there. Great initiation there. Wow, what I was going to say is that they are running 2 APs, one of which does not require blue buff. You should always remember that in the team comps, if you run 2 APs like a Nivea and a Swain, you're going to lose the game because both of them really need the blue buff. And in this comp, only a Nivea needs the blue buff. Malza has his E to get his mana back, and that's why it's working so nicely for them, even with just 1 blue buff. The damage there on CLG's Hotshot, look at that. He was just hit by a bit of null zone and his E, and he's down to almost half. Of course, he can turn into a giant bird and heal it all back, but still, it is scary what kind of damage xPeke can do here in just a few seconds with 250 AP.
Yeah, xPeke, you can see that definitely bringing this Fnatic team together. They are very happy to have him back. And CLG now looking to try and counter this somehow. It's going to be at a forced Baron. They're really going to have to take that one over to turn this. They're going to have to start taking some turrets, get some global gold under their belt. Right now, about 8,000 gold in difference between these two teams at 24 minutes. 34,000 gold in favor of Fnatic between the players and 26,000 gold in favor of CLG. And we're going to have to see, this is pretty much the hardest push they've had on a turret, but easily a Nivea wiping out that wave with her ultimate, and they're forced to back up here. I believe that Dragon was taken down at 1945, probably around 20 seconds. It was 20 minutes it was taken down, so we're going to see a 26-minute Dragon, and it's going to be quite soon for these guys. We'll have to see what they do. They both have wards on it, so this could be a forced Dragon fight. Everybody is up on the map. Everybody's somewhat in position, and Nivea is the only one at base here. And we'll have to see what they do as it pops up within a few, or 30 so seconds here.
I'm not sure if CLG have the timer, actually, to be fair. I mean, they may just be pushing mid, or they may be setting up for a Dragon. I'm not sure if they timed it. They did see it go down, so they could have timed it. Yeah, they did time it. Oh, very good. I'm actually impressed that they did that. CLG is not known for their Dragon timings, to be fair. And unfortunately, Fnatic is now in position. If they get into this fight like this, with the bulk of the team from top and Ash coming in from the other side with an arrow, that is going to be so painful for CLG. But it looks like Fnatic are okay, and CLG just going to say, you guys go ahead, you have the Dragon. We have no interest in gold. We are not capitalists.
It looks like they want to do something with this one. And Nivea throwing the wall down, and she's not going to let them get by on this one. They were able to take the Dragon 3 now for Fnatic, but they are initiating the fight on this one. Saintvicious, again, being the target as Nunu, was not able to channel his ult. Sona also ulting as Jarvan jumps into the middle of the fight to try and CC the team down. And it really looks like CLG cannot gain focus on this fight. Swain also going down. If he does not die, but they're both going to flash over the wall on that one. Sona now, Elementz to be found, and the team ace to come out after the forced Dragon fight. Very nice job.
It wasn't even the forced Dragon fight. Dragon was already down.
This is true, yes.
CLG didn't know that. CLG didn't know that the Dragon could have fallen that quickly. And then Saintvicious made himself available. And perfect thinking on his part. He's like, I'm the tank. If they focus me, we win, right? No, wrong. You're going to go down in no time. And the team is still going to have enough damage for the rest of your team. So, I'm happy, Revington. I have to admit, I am happy. This is the Fnatic I want to see, not just because I'm a little biased for Europe here, but also because a little biased. But it's beautiful play, right? This is beautiful League of Legends. To see a team fight like that, it's just, these guys are ballsy, they're aggressive, they're going in, they know when they can finish CLG, and also, we're going to see 2 games, right? That's good.
It could be. Looks like we have a quick update on 145,000 viewers on the stream right now. Also watching it with everybody here in Jönköping. It's an amazing event, and like I've said before, and I'll always say it, it's all for the community. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So
I wouldn't have a drop if it wasn't for you guys.
Exactly. Huge thanks to everybody that is participating in the League of Legends community, loving the game. And it looks like we're going to have another fight for you here. LP taking a lot of damage on Vayne. Elementz goes down instantly without being able to heal the team, and this is what Fnatic really wanted. The healer is out. Swain has nothing really to gain health off of. He will go down very quickly. xPeke is just chasing him in cat and mouse right now. The blood boil to go into HotshotGG, but they don't even care. He gets him within the range of the turret. No ultimate coming out of the hands of Hotshot. He goes down, and a very nice job by Jarvan as he comes in with the flag toss. And it looks like they're able to take down 2, 3, and 4, and a few under the turret as well. They're like, it's a turret. I'm not really worried about it. This is exactly what they're saying. Expending all amounts of mana. We see xPeke getting out of there with his last drop of mana left. He knew he had to use it.
This is free Baron.
Yeah,
free
this
Baron
is definitely
right
a free Baron. They're going to go up there. More gold, more XP. Fnatic playing a stellar game right now, and it looks like, yes, we will have a second game.
16-2 the kills right now. This is Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried about the top lane. Shushei being shut down a little bit by Mundo early game, but they came out so strongly. xPeke dominating that mid lane against Swain so hard. And boy, am I glad xPeke is here now. I'm almost glad that he didn't make it yesterday, because this provided us with a much nicer narrative. People were like, oh God, Fnatic have no chance. No, they have a chance. They have a pretty good chance. Yeah. I'm still saying we're going to see Fnatic in the grand finals here. That's
definitely turning the tables in their gameplay at this point in time. The mentality of the team is just so cohesive, and they're able to come together in every team fight, knowing what somebody's going to do. xPeke seemed to be, running away by himself there. They did see Nunu, they saw Hotshot by the turret, but xPeke still throwing off his ultimate, and the team knew what to do. They weren't worried about it. They went in, they got 2 more kills, and they were able to come out of it alive. Right now, 15,000 gold difference between the teams in favor of Fnatic.
That is half of the gold that CLG has in total.
Indeed, yes it is. And ward control, not really being worried about. They do have some on the blue side, which is really the AP team of CLG right now is trying to grab a lot, and that's where they've been losing most of their fights. They are initiated on it blue. There's been at least 3 team fights that have initiated there. One was an ace. The last one we saw was 4 down for CLG, and xPeke here leading again, just being very aggressive as Mellisan, getting caught in the never move. Will they initiate the Anivia wall behind, and there's no escape. The null zone goes down, and so does HotshotGG by the hands of Shushei with that huge percentage damage. The Ash Arrow coming down, slapping Chauster in the face. Will they initiate on him? Janna getting her stun on as well. Malefic Vision's down. I do not believe Mundo is ignited, and he's able to use his ultimate to stay alive in that one. The proc of Saintvicious channeling his absolute zero keeps the rest of the team alive. They're definitely able to get together on that one and stay alive, but they should not be around this turret, as it can be easily tanked up quickly. Ash focusing on one other. They flash past the turret. They continue to invade into the base. Vayne goes down as well. Just a relentless Fnatic team right now, leaving everything to chance, putting it all out on the table, and they're going to bring this definitely to a game 2. It's going to be pretty long spawn times here. They're definitely going to be able to go for the inhibitor, and a huge amount of damage. They're going to be going for these Nexus turrets as well. If they can get to one side of the Nexus turret and possibly take it down. Oh, Swain with the never move could shut them down on this. It is going to go for Anivia, and it looks like Swain will go down again, instantly melted by Fnatic. A very nice gameplay, able to take down both Nexus turrets here. A 31-minute game, a huge $20,000 lead in gold on the game, 21-2 on the kills, and a very big GG from the full team of Fnatic, finally poised and ready to head for that finish line.
They showed what they can do now. That is exactly what I was looking for, and that was just beautiful execution. Everything worked exactly as they wanted to. The big targets always stood in the null zone. They were always caught, and they have so many ways of keeping them in the null zone, with the Anivia wall, with the Jarvan ultimate as well, with an Ash Arrow, and that damage. There's just nothing that CLG could do against it. And honestly, the Mundo and Chauster, I don't want to say troll pick, because that implies intentionality, but less than ideal pick. Let's put it that way.
They were really going again for that health regen team. The in and out fight, it really didn't work for him, because they were shut down too much. You have Shushei that can use his blast, the ice blast, to just get somebody down, or ball, I should say, cube, to stun up. So if you're trying to heal somebody and you're stunned, obviously not going to happen. It just really wasn't working for him. You have Janna that can toss people up into the air, Ash with the arrow, Cyanide coming out with a Jarvan flag toss. It really actually shut down the amount of heal and sustain that they could give themselves, which is actually what they really needed. Elementz was always taken down quite early in the fights, and we see that Elementz coming out 3-1, I should say, with not really any type of build. Not that they're supposed to get that much of a creep score, but still they should be on the assisting side with the heals they're giving their team. But like I said, the focus of Fnatic and the ability to shut down those sustained characters to heal the team was just amazing. A very nice job by Fnatic. CLG still not out of it. It's still a very favorited team here, and we're going to see what they can do. Obviously not going with that lineup for the next game, and we'll see what they provide.
I don't expect to see Mundo next game, to be perfectly honest. Even though it's my forum avatar, I don't expect to see him have a Mundo. And Cyanide, like I said during the picks, I was really astonished that CLG didn't say, well, we have an American meta, we can just put a Jarvan on top and take it away from them. Apparently they didn't know that Cyanide is such a good Jarvan jungler. Alright, and yes, we'd like to thank our audience again here. There's a lot of people sitting here right now. If you are DreamHack, do consider stopping by. It's amazing to see all these people sitting here watching us. Thanks very much to all of you here, and applause. Give yourself a round of applause. And I believe we are going to cut to the loser interview very soon. If we are not, we could cut to the score screen and have a quick look at exactly what happened with the scores. Let me see if the voice in my head is going to tell me anything. So we are going to have a quick look at the stats. We are going to cut over to our stats screen, which has a very beautiful Season 1 branding on it right now. I believe we're going to cut over any moment now. And so we can see CLG with his Mundo didn't do too much, 0-3-1 there. It didn't work for him. He built a Warmux, which does make sense on Mundo, but too late. You know, he could not fill that Warmux. And what we saw actually, I thought the only mistake that I saw from Fnatic was when the Ash arrow hit that Mundo at the tower, they walked past Mundo, tried to initiate the rest of the team, and then changed their mind and initiated on Mundo, because you can ignore Mundo. And the first instinct that they should have followed was just ignore it, you know, move on.
Really a really focused damage character, like you said, able to walk by, and he really can only do so much damage right away.
Yes. bigfatlp here, building a standard Vayne build and just not having any luck, 0-4-0, no assists, no kills, and that just means you're going to be so much further behind. I mean, look at that. He had a Bloodthirster, which is the second cheapest big fat sword, big BF sword, I should say, item.
The big fat sword.
Yes, that's what we're calling it now. That's what the F stands for now. And the seal, while on the other hand we have an Infinity Edge of Lancer and the seal on the carry. So 4-0-10 doing a lot better than 0-4-0. The Nunu building standard gold per 10 items, which are powerful if the game goes long. This game was what, 30 minutes?
30 some minutes,
wow.
Yes, 31 minutes.
So these gold per 5 items, they just weren't worth their money here.
Yeah.
Same for the Rod of Ages. It probably wasn't charged yet. So again, 2-7-0. He is the only one who had any kills at all for Team CLG here. And it's just, it wasn't happening for them. While on the other hand, we see a perfect jungler build here with already a Banshee's Veil and the makings of what I believe would have been a Sunfire cape here. Lamia we already talked about. And xPeke and Shushei building the standard AP stuff with a death cap and a little bit of spell vamp. And finally a perfect European support build here. So everything worked for Fnatic like it was supposed to, and CLG not as much. And I think we should give them a chance to talk about this themselves. So we'll cut over. They have to say. Yes, we'll cut over to an interview with CLG.
And what an exciting match that was. We're here with xPeke from Fnatic to just talk a little bit about that last game. Congratulations, first of all. I know that first blood had to feel good.
Yeah, well, it felt so great. It's the first game I play here in DreamHack because I couldn't play anything yesterday. So I was super sick in my hands. And when I got the first blood, I really got a bit relaxed, and everything went way better after that. Everything.
Well, you're not out of the woods yet. You still got one really important match coming up right now. What's the general mood of the team coming into this last game?
Well, this match, it's good to make ourselves confident that we can do it if we play good, like we did right now. So we will play without nerves, kind of nerves, because it's an important match, but we will do the best for sure.
Well, best of luck to you, and stay tuned. We're about to start the second game. Back to you guys.
And we're getting ready for the second game here. I am still in kind of, finally Europe is doing what they're supposed to mode. I was a little scared, I have to admit. Yesterday, I think I said I was disappointed in the end of the cast. I probably shouldn't have said that. I mean, they did try their best, but I did expect more than, 2 second places and a third place yesterday. But this is the Fnatic that makes me happy. What do you think? Can CLG turn this around?
I don't know. They played a very good game. They're going to have to play a very much stronger lane game. That's really where they lost this matchup. Their turrets were taken down quickly. We can see that most of the players on the Fnatic side were over 200 creep score, where 160 was really the max for CLG, and that's where you see those gold per per second items are coming in, and it's not, you really want that to go to a late game, and that's not what Fnatic was giving them. No. So CLG definitely needs to play a stronger lane game in this one, pick better characters that can sustain in lane, and we'll have to see how they do that. There were some great counter picks in the hands of Fnatic and CLG last game, but Fnatic seemed to work their way around that, put a little band-aid on the picks that they couldn't have, and you really came out with a stellar team.
You know what I expect from CLG right now is actually a heavy poke team. They are probably going to say, okay, this didn't work. We need to do a team comp where we can just leave Fnatic basically tight into their bases and just draw it out, play the game that we want to play, and just go to a poke game where they can take our turrets, because we'll just do damage to them all the time, and we can slowly wear down their turrets. So if they leave Nidalee open, if Fnatic leave Nidalee open, I definitely expect a Nidalee pick. I definitely expect CLG to go for the Ashe this time with the volley, very, very strong in any poke comp as well. As for Fnatic, okay, I should not give away too much secret information, but they did tell me about a super secret comp that they have, and a trump, if you want, an ace up their sleeve, and this wasn't it. There is something else that they're looking forward to playing at some point.
A really off-band pick team that you wouldn't expect.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Maybe we're going to see that now, because they definitely want to win this. After this, it's going to be double elimination. So after this, they have plenty of room for mistakes again, but no room for mistakes in this game. If they lose this, they are out.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. We'll have to see what they can do. We'll have to see if they can bring up the map here and do a little bit of drawing for everybody and let everybody know what happened in that game and where it happened. If we can put up Xenon's screen here, we'll be able to show you guys, where most of these fights went down and how it happened here with our transcript there.
Can we cut over to my screen? Okay, very good. Yes, we have this shiny little tool here prepared for you guys. Okay, so
Give it a good center.
Right. So do you want to talk first about what happened at the blue buff?
Well, a lot actually happened at blue buff. If you're going to go ahead and let you know where that is. Right here, blue buff is initiated 3 fights onto the screen. That's exactly where they happened. Nunu was taken down many times, and we both said that, don't focus the tank, and really it should have been initiated. The team walked by him. A lot of cooldowns were down for Fnatic, and a lot of dragon control, but Nunu was focused a lot in that matchup.
The most interesting fight here was the dragon fight, where Fnatic was somewhere in this area just after having taken down the dragon, and CLG thought, well, that's okay. We can just push in from here. We can just open up with Nunu and put him in the first row and basically force them to focus on Nunu, and it didn't work for them. I mean, they did focus on Nunu, but it wasn't enough. Nunu soaked up all that damage and then some, and he was basically able to. Fnatic was basically able to win the fight anyway. And the most amazing pushes that we saw, I personally think, were when Fnatic pushed here into the blue of CLG, and CLG in their own forest, unable to defend their blue. It's just that this kind of area is super clumped for them, and they should normally be able to take any kind of fight that comes here with a never move and everything. And
yeah, you would definitely think so.
Yeah, and still, even though this is where all the fights happened, they just couldn't put out enough damage output to actually shut down Fnatic, and Fnatic said, well, that's fine by us. We can just initiate on you in your own jungle, and we can take it down.
Yeah, a lot of their fights could have been broken line of sight there. They could have split up Fnatic a little bit more instead of ran into the entire team.
Right.
Nunu kind of walked into his team on that one, and xPeke being very aggressive within that game was just able to continuously do damage with the help of his team behind him. Wasn't worried about it. The team very cohesive in the knowledge of what was happening and where the fight was going to go down, and a lot of that happened in that bottom left jungle for CLG, losing their top turret first, then the mid, and then the bottom, and they really weren't able to come back from that one. It was just not a really good match for them at that point in time.
That was really the other. That was really the only thing that the only thing that they could have done at that point with the dragon was just to leave the dragon, because at the point that Fnatic managed to push down here, push the minions past
that minion
this
wave
point,
down to get visibility.
And you have to see that if you want to go into the dragon, you have only a few options. You can take this lane kind of, or you can go from down here, or you can go this way. So after they pushed the minions past this point, really, with this arrow, there was. No, just let me do this. And there was not much else. They couldn't come from here anymore. So this way was locked off to them, because clearly they lost the vision. They had vision of this part because of the enemy minions. So what they had to do then was to either come from this direction right here, and they had a ward in this push right here, and they were also positioning themselves up here. So that was also taken away from them. So this arrow that we see down here, that was really the only chance that CLG had. And we saw that fight, even though they took that, they were just clumped up and ready for the killing.
The power of vision.
And I believe the teams are now actually ready for us. So we are going to go and give the go-ahead in chat. Please go. All right. And we're going to go into the second game. I'm really, really interested in the picks and bans here. I'm really going to... how is
they
CLG
kind
going
of
to
know
react?
what cards they
Right.
just played, so we're going to have to see what kind of cards
Right.
they throw out on this one and what cards they're dealt as well. We're going to have to see what happens. Are we ready to go? We're getting the message from bigfatlp. He wants to know if they're ready. CLG looks like they really want to get in this one. They're fired up for this next match. It seems like they've really discussed what went down and how it happened differently, and we'll have to see how these guys come out to it.
All right. We are now in the picks and bans, so we are actually not. Elementz has left during Champion Select and is going to get a leave, obviously, and a loss as well, because this was clearly a ranked game. Okay, so there is a little bit of, yes. Well, Rivington, it would have broken our perfect run of never having a game start on time. So, yes, we can have that.
That's close.
Yes. Fortunately, we still have.
Usually the teams joining up on the wrong side. First ban, first pick, also side there. So it definitely makes a difference, and that's where we're going to get this game restarted and have them on the correct sides, since we're going to do this correctly here.
All right. So what would you ban? If you were the team captain of CLG right now, what would you ban?
I'd probably ban that Malzahar, the team shutdown for xPeke.
Yeah. But you only have 3 bans. You're going to ban Malzahar, you're going to leave the Alistair open for Shushei. You're not going to leave the Alistair open.
You still have another ban as well.
Right, yeah.
So they could be coming out with the Malzahar and the Alistar, but then they're really just focusing on AP, and they have to make sure that no tank is given away in the jungle. So it's definitely going to be really hard for them to come out with some good picks and good bans, since Fnatic now has their full 5. They obviously know how they play. Like we said before, once the teams are done, once the teams are ready, we can just join in the game. Once the teams are done playing, they come over here and they watch the other games go down. They watch the big screen. They sit with all the players and whatnot, chat it up, do some signing and autographs. But they really are just dissecting what their opponent is doing. They may have to face them. And that's really what it came down to here. Nobody really got to see xPeke play yesterday. He said he was nervous, but he came out with the first blood, and he was able to come out with an amazingly strong Malzahar game. And that's, kind of, he was behind closed doors yesterday. He wasn't able to show that coming out. Took CLG by surprise. Now they know, and we'll really have to see how this next game goes. It was almost like watching, Zan play against the TSM match. We're just like, what? Zan was playing against TSM, and they absolutely just rolled through with Mordekaiser. But the next game, against CLG, since TSM beat CLG, you would have thought that Zan would have had an easy match there, but CLG was able to take down Zan, watching their gameplay and banning Mordekaiser.
That is a very good point. CLG are very, very adaptable. You saw that already last year at the WCG in LA, where their first game from SK Gaming basically introduced North America to the idea of a split push. That was the first time they saw that at high elo, and CLG went, what just happened? But they adapted so very quickly to that. And we are now actually finally into the picks and bans. And let's see how CLG are going to react. So first ban, first pick for Fnatic, and they ban Nidalee. That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
I would ban Nidalee.
Yes, Hotshot does not get to play Nidalee. We saw what happened with that yesterday. It's kind of like a West Rice Akali. Just something you don't want to happen at that point in time. We'll have to see what xPeke now is going to be the one to pick for the ban here, and definitely talking it over with his team, conversing, Alistair. And there is the pick for Alistar. Shushei focused.
Well, it does make sense that AP Alistar, A, Shushei is really good at it. B, they're not used to it in America. They are not trained up against it. Twisted Fate, banned from Fnatic, that is aimed against Big Fat. He is really, really good with Twisted Fate. And, it's not just a question of being a good split pusher, because split pushing is kind of, you port to towers and destroy them. It's not that hard, but you need to be good Twisted Fate as well during team fights, and he is that.
Whenever I think of TF, I always think of you got out of your lane just before you died, and you're about to enter your base, and you just see the cards start coming down right next to you, and you have a sliver of health. The Rumble actually being picked out there. Nice ban by CLG.
Yeah, the Rumble ultimate is just so powerful, and in Europe, Rumble is an auto ban at the moment in tournaments, which is just surprising to North Americans, because they don't really think of him as that strong. And Nivea ban, very good. Shushei, he did not blow my mind with his Nivea, but Nivea, like I said, isn't a champion that really has these really amazing plays. But he played a super solid Nivea. I mean, the walls were spot on and everything, and a good Nivea is always scary.
So a lot of the Fnatic bans more damage focused. A lot of the CLG bans obviously damage from Alistar and Rumble, but more tanky focused.
This leaves all the tanky junglers open, and that plays into Fnatic's hands. I think they can run anything. Oh, Davis. Okay, and I move at least. They can take a Nunu, they can take a Jarvan, whatever they want. Maybe they'll pick Jarvan. xPeke for Fnatic, very good. That does not allow CLG to run a really strong poke lineup unless they want to run Caitlyn, and I doubt they want to run Caitlyn.
Ooh.
Okay, there is the Vlad. That is going to go to... Is it going to stay with Big Fat, or is it going to go to Hotshot?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see who else they get in this one. It's too early to call on that, but they definitely, xPeke kind of doing a semi-ban pick there and not allowing CLG to get it, and obviously one of the best carries in the, or better carries in the game.
And there's the Janna.
Saintvicious, you going for Janna?
Yeah, that's also a counter pick. You don't want the Janna Ashe bot lane. Even though it didn't dominate that much late game, last game, but it's still a very strong lane, and on top of that you have the super strong support.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Taric in the picks on this one for Fnatic as a support player for their side. It would be a really good pick. It would leave a lot of tank on their team as well, and they can build around that to really assist themselves with the armor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Taric is probably a better pick once the enemy have shown their hands and have shown that they have a lot of strong AD. CLG wisely not picking the AD yet, although I would be surprised to see anything but Vayne at this point. Nunu, very, very strong jungler, is going to invade the enemy jungle. Let's see what...
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's the Swain again. No, there's a Swain for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's the flip side. They're pretty much taking everything that CLG had last time.
I know why, yes. This is the Vlad counter. xPeke is going to run that Swain, and it's going to kick Vlad out of the game, basically. That's, I think, is the idea behind the Swain pick. And xPeke is probably in Europe, I think, the strongest Swain player. So we should see some amazing Swain play here.
So it looks like they grabbed Nunu, but he is going to be switched with somebody else, and we'll have to see who Shushei gets, as he is not the one to be playing Nunu. He's going to Flash Ignite, meaning they're going to get a switch up after the summoners have all locked in, or the players, I should say.
Warwick.
And we do see a Warwick that will most likely be in the jungle, but we have seen CLG play in lane.
Oh yeah, lane is very strong against any top lane. And actually, this could be a counter pick because it could counter the Swain.
A lot of countering.
A lot of countering. And in Annie, I believe that Annie is then going to go to bigfatlp. Is it? I'm not even that sure.
We'll definitely have to see. They're going to actually, looks like, no, not to Saintvicious. Saintvicious is going to switch it over with Elementz, and it could be Chauster that's grabbing him. I'm not too sure about that one.
There's the Gragas for Shushei. Wow. This is his trademark character. So his Alistair, that's what he invented, but he became famous with his Gragas play. And he started playing Gragas full AP at a time when people said, well, you just play tanky Gragas and you build innovating locket and you win. And he was like, no, I'm going to build full-on tank, full-on AP all the time. And
defy the masses.
So well. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they do have that sustained heal. Mellisan taking again on the support player as he was Janna last time, the support champion, I should say. HotshotGG to make his pick, and we'll probably get a better idea of where these teams are going to switch around their champions after this, besides Saintvicious obviously getting the jungle, Warwick. And
right, because they need an AD now. Oh, there's Caitlyn.
Wow, all
so
right.
That's the poke that I was talking about. That could still work, you know, with Vlad and Janna and Caitlyn. You do have a lot of poke there still.
So Elementz, and it's going to be possibly Hotshot down bottom unless Hotshot and Big Fat kind of switch this one up.
I think Hotshot is going to play the Vlad here.
Yeah.
Well, interesting lineups there. I would have to say I'm giving it to Fnatic kind of here from the picks. I'm not seeing...
would.
Well, I would too, but they cannot play a poke game against a really good Ashe Arrow initiation followed up by a really good Gragas barrel. And if there's one thing that Shushei can do is he can toss that barrel. He knows how to charge in.
Can you imagine that combo?
Oh yeah.
Ashe Arrow, you get bounced back right onto a never move, and Sona's like, dance for me. You're not going anywhere.
I would love to see that combo if they can pull it off. Okay, so we see the switches now. Elementz playing the Annie, bigfatlp playing the Vlad, and Hotshot playing the Vlad. There you are. That makes more sense, yes.
There it is.
So Hotshot the Vlad. Cyanide going to the jungle as always, no surprise there. Oh, really?
No. Really? Okay.
Hotshot is not the best support player in America, but we'll see, I mean, he did pretty well on the Swain last game. I'm not sure why they put him on the support, but that's the confusing thing really about American teams. They don't stick to their roles very much. They mix it up.
You got to play your cards the way they're dealt, and these guys like to switch it in and get new ones. So we'll have to see how this goes for him. HotshotGG is going to play Janna. This is that final game for Fnatic to take over on CLG. So we'll have to see what they can do. The second game.
It is also the final game for CLG.
Yes.
So if they lose this, they no longer have a shot at first place, and they are going to go down to the match for 5th place, which is, you know, still better than nothing, but you are not in a tournament to take 5th place. That is not usually what you set out to do.
No, it's not. I mean, if you're just joining us here on the stream, or obviously if you're here in the Elmia Convention Center, you know you are at Jönköping, Sweden, and this is DreamHack 2011 Summer. We have the Season 1 Championship going down, $100,000 tournament, and it's going to be a big prize for that first place, and everybody is gunning for it right now. Fnatic showing very strong play, able to take out CLG in their last matchup. xPeke finally being able to join up with his team, and that was, you know, really the cohesiveness and the combination that they needed to be able to take down CLG pretty handily in that last game. We'll have to see now CLG with some new picks, a few new cards in their hand, and we'll have to see how they can come out in this next game.
You could really feel the telepathy that last game. You know, they know how to play as a team. They have played hundreds and hundreds of games in this exact lineup, and they know exactly, oh, this is the kind of damage that xPeke can do. This is when Shushei will go in seemingly suicidal, so we all back him up, and the enemy team is like, whoa, they're going? And they're dead. And that just worked beautifully. Like I said yesterday, weevilfailure, not a bad player by any means at all, but he does not have the telepathy. He did not play enough games for the team.
The team chemistry, you know, a team can always, as I said before, look good on paper. They can have good scores, they can have good elos, good ratios in their wins. But if you still don't know when the initiation is going to happen, when your tank is going to overstep that boundary, and it means initiation without anything being said, it's really when the game can be silent and you just know what to do. You know who to focus. It was discussed before, and it's been discussed throughout every game. So we'll have to see what they can do. One thing I'd like to point out is not that they could be squishy. They could always build pretty tanky, but it is quite a squishy CLG team without a sustained heal. Just Vlad by himself. Warwick can kind of get himself back up, but you know, Annie is really going to have to initiate the fight for these.
It's not going to be a lane weak. That means he's going to lag behind a little bit in items. That means he's not going to be quite as tanky, but we'll have to see what they make of this. And this is it, Europe versus North America, the final game in the relegation for these two teams, CLG versus Fnatic. Let's have a round of applause for both teams.
As we jump back in here, we see both teams again. It seems to be mirrored every time now, just heading down middle, seeing who can get the first poke on, and then into the jungle, and we'll have to see how that happens. We can see vision for both teams here. It looks like already one ward, no, not a ward, I'm sorry. That is Caitlyn Trap has been paced by blue, and that's usually where you pull that golem in to take it down, so nobody can see you until they get there. A very good move, very strategic. Wards are also going down towards Wraith, and they are going to be able to block anything that comes from there. It looks like they are doing a pretty aggressive, just defensive strat here. Wouldn't be aggressive, more defensive, but they are ready to take somebody out as soon as they cross that river, or possibly initiate into the river once they make it. 30 seconds till the minions go on, so there's definitely a lot of time, and they do have some movement. I don't believe that Ward will be able to see them just yet. I think it's just on the outer edge. Caitlyn going around, that is bigfatlp, is going to put one down right on that Ward as well. That's going to give them full vision and a little bit of time to get to that area if they need so.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like either of the teams are really looking for a level 1 fight. Fnatic were in position there in case CLG would have come and face check the bush. It's been known to happen, but yeah, no fights really necessary here. And Cyanide is just going to eat the first Wolf here and then run up to Golem and have a perfect time to kill Golem as well. Oh, and he even gets the assist from Shushei. That is very nice. Nice team play here, and that's going to make Cyanide's jungle that much faster.
Yeah, it really matters how your jungle is going through the game. If you're thrown off just a little bit, or you don't get the buff you need, it really hinders your ability to get around the map. As we said, you know, you're not going to have the full item build as you're in the jungle, unless you're in the lanes really conducting your ganks 100%. And again, more help and a leash for the blue on Cyanide. Great teamwork here, coming out of the hands of Fnatic in the beginning of the game. And it looks like Alistar is left, you know, go to his own jungle. It is going to be Gragas versus Annie in mid. Very nice. Vlad versus Swain up top, and the support carry lanes down bottom, Janna, Caitlyn, and Ashe, and Sona.
This was great, actually. I wanted to talk about the jungle a little bit more. With this amount of support, the level 2 gank for Nunu will come much quicker than CLG are expecting it. And where is he going? Oh, there is a ward there, but he's not going there. So he is going to top lane. That is the normal rotation for Nunu. Take Golem, do a level 2 gank, or eat a Golem. And I think he's going to go and eat a Golem right here. And that's going to slow Warwick down some more.
Yeah, this will definitely help. Able to, as I said, hinder that jungle path of Warwick. He's over now getting his blue. It looks like he's actually dodged the Caitlyn, or actually doesn't have to dodge it. Just Caitlyn is on his team, but he is able to get that blue, knowing it wasn't going down and nobody has been in that position. Elementz taking a good amount of damage from the Gragas barrels at this point. And Gragas, a little bit of health taken down as well. Annie holding that stun up. Whenever you see that blue around her waist, that means she does have a stun ability from her passive. And it looks like Swain is giving Vlad a little bit of trouble here, pushing the lane quite hard, trying to get those minions pushed into the turret. So the turret is the one feeding off the minions, and Chauster will not be able to get those last hits in. And he is going to level. It looks like Gragas is backing pretty far. He may be going, no, just waiting for the minions. It looks like he may have backed to get something if he had some good last hits from now. But he will not be doing that. Everybody's about level 3, level 2 in the game, as they're all just leveling at the same. Warwick to head in his jungle, and really nothing too much aggressiveness right now. Everything played very cautiously because this means a lot for both teams.
Look how far back CLG are pushed already. The Swain versus Vlad lane apparently working exactly like Fnatic wanted it to be. Fnatic really considers Swain a counter to Vladimir, and it seems to be working. Vladimir obviously a little bit underpowered until he hits level 6 or 7. So we'll have to see how it goes after that point, but xPeke is going to try and mess with this early game before it even gets to that point. A lot of sustain here from Gragas in lane, of course. It looks like there was a disconnect. Strange, he seemed to be moving just fine. A lot of sustain, obviously. Every time Gragas uses one of his spells, he regenerates a little bit of health, and that just means he can be safe in a lane even if he takes a little bit of damage from Annie. And the barrel, if it's used properly, it's really good at both farming and harassing the enemy at the same time. It looks like Nunu is coming up for a level 4 gank here on Vladimir, and they're not going to kill him. He still has his pool, but
oh wow! A very nice never move coming out of the hands. I don't think Cyanide thought that was going to happen, or he kind of turned away right before the Ice Blast got away, and they weren't able to do the damage required. Great timing by xPeke on that. The Sanguine Pool used a little early, but he still would have taken a lot of damage nonetheless. They had really good positioning on that gank.
Oh, now Nunu coming in from behind for a gank on Annie. But Warwick at the same time also waiting in the sides, and I think this is probably... This could be dire for... No, he gets away. The red buff was not enough to stop the blood boil. So a double gank that ended up with no kills.
As we head down to look towards bottom lane, really no damage being done here. Pretty docile lane as they just kind of poke at each other, and the health is just given back. We do see that Caitlyn has that Doran, so she doesn't really have to worry too much as long as she can get a lot of shots on. And she has been doing that, pushing the lane quite hard at this point. And it just seems like control really not in anybody's favor right now. It's just going back and forth as the minion waves can keep spawning. They're going to move back into mid on that one, and they're going to be right at the river where they want to be. You almost want to be a little bit towards your side, so you have the protection of your turret. You know, Swain actually has it right where he wants right now. If it wasn't to move from there, he'd be very happy farming in that position. You don't have to cross a river, and you know, they're forced to stay in the top bush. You don't have to worry about them. You may have to call AFK, but you know, that's only going to assist your team. Really a great position to be in while farming.
And I have to point out that xPeke still has one of his 3 original potions, while Vlad already had to go back, and it looks like Vlad really not having a good time here. And for everybody who's screaming that Vlad is OP, this is a little lesson in how to counter Vlad. It's really 6-4. That is an amazing advantage.
Yeah, wow.
36 kills to 12. Vlad's not doing well here.
Forced to go and use the Sanguine Pool. Could see Nunu coming up for a gank after this. He's definitely going to have the cooldown there. Nunu's actually on the fountain, so Vlad not really has anything to worry about. Good damage coming out of the hands of xPeke, but he does not have enough mana to keep the bird on. No blue buff yet. Wow, just absolutely slicing through the health of Chauster, looking to get a quick transfusion on and give himself some health back. He's going to get a little bit from that level, but not too much assistance at this point.
And the next thing that's going to happen is Blue is going to come back up, Nunu is going to prepare that, Peak is going to rotate down, pick up the Blue, and just turn into Chauster's worst nightmare ever.
Yeah, no real reason for xPeke to leave the lane at this point. He's got a lot of health, and it looks like he's going to be able to control this lane on the other side of the turret. Warwick coming up, however, with red buff, and xPeke is going to see that, and he's going to start to move back, trying to get some last hits on the minions, rebuff on his mana, that is the passive as well. and just go ahead and back up. I believe he's got to have something to buy at this time, so he
Well,
may just
he's
be
gonna
blue
take the
pilling
blue
back to
before.
lane. Oh yeah, going for a blue buff. So he's going to actually stay in his lane as long as possible. A nice stun up coming out of the hands of HotshotGG. He was able to take pop up Ashe at that point in time. The big fat LP with a lot of, not too much mana under his belt, but enough to do some good damage here to Sona if they do choose to do that once more. And the minion wave, actually, as I said, went back to middle here. Sona in a good spot from Mellisan, rather, to farm up some of the minions and get that in his favor.
And Vlad in the bushes here trying to blue pill. xPeke is aware of it, and is he gonna catch him? Yes. And oh, he does not push it. Oh yeah, he must have seen that warrior coming. He must have smelled that warrior coming, and he does not push it at this point. Vlad would have had pool anyway, but still, it would have hurt Vlad some more. And it would have been bad for his nerves as well. And it looks like mid lane is definitely going in favor of Gragas here with 54 to 45. And Annie being not yet behind the level, but she has to go home again. And Gragas is still happily, well, he's been home once, but he managed to buy a blasting wand already. Quick fact for you here, the blasting wand in French is called baguette explosive. And I'm not making that up. It's actually what it's called. And I find that just hilarious.
Warwick going back for his blue. Caitlyn picking up a BF sword, so that's definitely going to help the lane down bottom with a lot of damage output. However, Ashe with Sona able to get that sustainable burst heal, so they should be all right in that fact. It's going to be seen in the late game where we see Caitlyn doing a lot of that damage and staying behind the defensive lines to do that poke. A huge amount of range on her attack, so we'll see that coming from her. Gragas still in mid. It looks like they're getting a ping down on Vladimir. They believe they can take him down 8 to 6 are the levels between Swain and Vlad right now. The Ashe arrow coming up, and he steps right in front of it. No wards were in that, so it was an unintentional dodge, but definitely a dodge that he is excited about. He probably could have pooled if it was going to hit him. You can see a lot of Vlads do that, and Chauster would have had the reaction time to make that happen. LP back into lane with that BF sword, and they're going to see what kind of damage they can do to Lamia's.
That is an interesting choice. He went dagger BF sword before boots. If someone did that in my game, I would have words for them, and they would not be nice words.
Well, you do kind of have Tailwind. It's not something you can rely on from Janna,
and you
but
have your
the boots on another player or in your opposing team is definitely going to be able to catch you.
Yeah, absolutely. It may come back and haunt him, but for now it looks like he's actually winning the bot lane, which is somewhat amazing to me.
Ward placement going down. There's now one ward from each team down by Dragon. We're going to see Nunu kind of going around. No, he's going to go down towards his wolves. He's not going to go back up top towards the river. They're going to leave Vlad alone for now after harassing him, after harassing Chauster, I should say, for pretty much the whole game up top. And that's really what you need to do. You know, bottom lane is getting kind of pushed as well. A lot of damage being done there. The ultimate coming out. She's going to be able to proc a huge amount of damage from that. And Sona was taking at least a quarter of her health to half of it right there throughout the middle. And they're just going to back up on that one. It's something you see a lot of Caitlyn's do. You know you're not going to be able to get the kill, but that's very aggressive. And they now have to play a lot more careful. They can't be careful. They can't come out. Sona or Janna can get that stun up again onto Sona, and they possibly could be able to get the kill if it happens in their favor.
And I just checked here, top lane, Vlad did use his ultimate and went really aggressive on xPeke and forced xPeke to portal home. So that's a minor victory for Vlad, but still he's at 26 CS versus xPeke 68. Not where you want to be in a top lane. I would say that top lane is probably won by Fnatic at this point. And it looks like they may actually be switching it around, or is Shushei just waiting for a gank here?
Not sure. They do see that Vlad has gone back, and they may actually try to get these minions out and then they may try to just hide in the bush and camp it out until Vlad gets back to the lane. I don't see that happening, though. They are going to push off of that one, gain some experience. Gragas is going to go ahead and flop through the wall. And he's just going to go to mid and soak up this experience. Back to his own lane. Shushei, great damage, already being able to take down the Sork minions. They are weaker than the melee minions. And we do see Warwick coming up top as well. We'll see how he can do something. If he can do something in this instance for CLG, they do need something to happen here. There is no first blood that we have seen yet. 12 minutes into the game. I think this may be one of the longest ones. Both teams absolutely playing cautious and leaving nothing to chance.
And that's what they need to do. For both teams here, the tournament is on the line. You lose this tournament, you lose this fight, this game, and you do not have a shot at the first places anymore. And that is a lot of money that people would lose here. And trust me, these guys are playing their absolute A game here. Lamia must be under a lot of pressure. He's considered a good carry, but he's not really doing that well right now. Oh, there is an early dragon from Fnatic, and there is a ward here for CLG, so they are aware of it, but they're nowhere near in position. Caitlyn is trying to go for it, and Annie also in position, barely dodges that arrow. Jana is coming in, but they... Oh, look at that. Dragon's doing too much damage, and I think... Oh, God, is Cyanide going to go down? And he goes down!
First blood. Continuing the fight, a great ult from Sona. Looks like they may be able to take down Saintvicious as well. Will he get away? The Ash Arrow does not crit enough. Can she get a volley through the wall? And she's stopped by a Caitlyn trap. Beautiful placement by Caitlyn there with that last trap. Ash just loves cupcakes way too much. And he does go down by the Gragas barrel. However, Shushei coming up very big on the assist one right there for his team. And it's going to be a 2-1. 2 of CLG falling down. And it is going to be, it was just Cyanide. But that was first blood, a little extra gold. They were able to get 14.4K right now in favor of Fnatic, and 13.3, not too much of a difference between the money right now. We did just have our first bit of action within the game, so we're going to have to see where it goes from here. All turrets still stand on the map, and we definitely have a great game under our belt right now.
That was a little bit of hesitation there that caused Fnatic that first blood. They went for Dragon, then they went out, they went back in, and you know, Dragon is not just a victim. Dragon actually does quite some damage as well, and you could just see how low that that Nunu went there from the Dragon, and then it was just an easy pickup. Now let's see who they give the second blue to. I would normally say that they give it to Shushei, but Shushei nowhere near to this blue, so oh yeah, xPeke is coming down right now. It does make a lot more sense to put it on Swain, but Fnatic has been known to give Shushei the blue even when it's not the best way of playing it. Let's see what Shushei can do 1v2 here.
He is just kind of hiding in the bush, feeling very comfortable about his position right now. He could just kind of flop away if he wanted to. Transfusion going down into Swain. It looks like Ash, no, going out by himself, trying to go Renegade onto Caitlyn there. It looks like we got a 2v1 up top. They will continue to push back this one. Nunu coming in, Saintvicious somewhat changing his mind, going for the ultimate. Annie's right there. Could they get the Tibbers drop? But Nunu able to get away in time after seeing that Incinerate come out of the hands of Annie.
That was very good play on Element's part, or to be there in time to join that fight, or almost join that fight. And I was a little bit surprised when Saintvicious jumped in with his ulti, but it seems that it turned out well enough for them. They got the tower out of it and they pushed 2 people back. But maybe Fnatic can pick up that mid-tower. It would be very, very dangerous, but no, I think they're probably not going to go for it.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage to be done by the minions. They will get the bottom though, so they trade top and bottom tower on both sides. Very good play by both teams here. And CLG, as I said before, has to pick up their lane game. They're already doing better. In this one, the team composition seemed to be working better for them, and they're able to counter a little bit what CLG is doing, or Fnatic is doing, I should say.
Infinity Edge before boots. Really? Really? Wow. Okay, so this man wants damage. That's what he wants. That's the only thing he cares about. He just wants damage.
Bigfat, is all about positioning right now. He has to make sure he is where he needs to be. His flash is actually down, so he's got to be even more careful at this point in time.
Yes.
Where he's going to position himself for the next fight, possibly going back. I think this may be your boots, and you can finally wipe the sweat off of your forehead and be ready for some runaround from Caitlyn.
Right, because right now Caitlyn was a tank, and I mean a tank as in that big metal thing with a big barrel that bullets come out of. That was all she was. Now she has boots, and that makes me rest a little easier here for bigfatlp.
Indeed, she did grab her boots, but however, that Infinity Edge pretty early, 16 minutes into the game, that's going to be really great for her. They want this damage to go down early. They want to be able to over-damage Ash, who only has that BF sword in her hand. She did go for 2 Dorans and her Zerg quite early. And it looks like Shushei is kind of playing a little bit of defensive strategy as well as offensive here. The Ash Arrow going down. Does he have his ultimate? Blasting her back. Huge amount of damage and instantly melted by Fnatic. Well played, knowing they could take that one down, not taking any damage within the fight.
That was exactly the spell really you were talking about. Point by point. You called it beautifully there, man. That was the Ash Arrow into Gragas ulti, into Never Move. It's just so much coordination. And look at that. Already the Dragon pick up again from that Caitlyn kill. I don't know, maybe Caitlyn wouldn't have been standing that far from the tower if she had level 2 boots, but I'm not gonna talk about that much more.
Yeah, I don't think the boots would have really helped her out of there, and that's what I said. She did not, Bigfat did not have his flash up.
Oh wow,
did that very close to that position.
Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, that was very, very close, but xPeke actually refreshing his blue there. Jana almost taking that with the whirlwind. That would have been amazing.
Vlad quite far pushed out. CLG playing a pretty good game right now. It is 3-1, however, in favor of Fnatic. They were able to take that fight by grabbing, as we saw, Bigfat, as he was a little overextended when the tower went down. You know, Shushei is playing a very big position game with his Gragas as well. They're kind of just, you know, Shushei's there. We don't have to worry about it too much. But he's really been the initiator for a lot of things. That Ash arrow came down, and he was able to get Shushei, or Big Fat, back into the fight, as we saw. A great kill there. And they're just going to be able to work off of that and really focus out Caitlyn in every fight. You saw how much damage she took right away.
Oh, yeah.
She's really not going to get any more defensive at this point. So we'll see what she has to do. Maybe a Banshee's fail at some point in time to really dodge that barrel.
For that first arrow, so that arrow can only be used in a team fight after her Banshees was popped. But yeah, without the Banshees, they can do this as many times as they want to, and you cannot dodge an arrow that you don't see coming. That's basically the lesson that they're gonna have to learn here. Shushei almost taken on top turret, but I think he's gonna be fine. Yeah, he has his ult, he can use it defensively, he can just dash away, and there is Sonar as well. He's fine.
2v1 and just body slam to get himself away. It's not something you really expect to think from Gragas if you were to see this game and not know what's going on. A giant man just body slamming away, being so nimble and moving. But, you know, Shushei makes it happen, and that's how the play goes. A 3 in middle versus a 2, and Nunu and a Swain to defend here against Elementz. It's going to be Saintvicious and Hotshot. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Big Fat.
Interesting too that Gragas seems to want to build the Lich Bane even before the Death Cap. That is not his normal build. Normally it's either Banshees into Death Cap or Death Cap into Banshees and then the Lich Bane.
Yeah, don't know why Chauster left that top lane. Could be doing a lot of damage right now, or saving his turret from doing or getting a lot of damage. They maybe thought there was going to be a team fight in mid, and he, yes, would be necessary for that, being one of the sustained characters and able to dish out a lot of damage as well, with his cooldowns being very low at high level on that transfusion. And that actually does a lot of damage and makes Vlad a very deceiving character to 1v1 against, or even team fight against, because you think he's going to go down, you're focusing him, and then you get a heal from somewhere else. Vlad transfusions, and it's not really somebody you want to focus anymore right off the bat. We can see xPeke now invading the jungle a little bit. Cyanide getting in there with his Blood Boil to lay down some wards. Looks like they're going to go back for their blue and refresh it for xPeke. His should be almost coming down by now. And power in numbers right now as they rat pack around their own jungle. CLG trying to grab some ground here.
They don't know that there's a ward in this bush, and that could go really, really bad for Fnatic right now. If CLG take the proper tipper initiative, and there it is. Oh, wow.
Exactly what Fnatic needed, or did not need at that point in time. CLG able to get a huge amount of damage out. And it looks like the chase going down to xPeke. Does he dodge the never move? And he does. He gets out alive. Swain able to make it. They're able to, however, take out one more up top. Caitlyn falls to the ground. A 2v1 situation. Does Shushei have enough to move out? Going into the bush and flashing out. And a blood scent from Warwick. Swain coming back in. Has enough mana to ult and can definitely do some damage if they turn around and want to fight in that one.
That ward, this ward right here, pay attention people, that ward just brought CLG back into the game. Wards, people, buy them. They
Great
win
investment.
Games. Yeah, and that's exactly what I saw there. It was like, oh god, Fnatic, you can't stand there. There's a giant burning teddy bear coming from the sky for you right now. And they were just standing there waiting for it to hit. So that was the best initiation CLG could have gotten, but still, it wasn't enough. They could not decisively win that fight. And look at that, they are 5k gold behind at this point. And that is a lot of gold right there.
Yeah, Fnatic doing a very good job again of controlling those two only turrets that have gone down before. Actually, we lost one in mid, so 2 turrets down on CLG's side. Fnatic starting to play their lane game once again. We saw Shushei up top going for the top tower as well. That is almost down for CLG, so they've almost lost all 3 outer turrets. And you know, the roam game, when not being roam characters of Fnatic, as I've said before, is just playing very well for them right now and giving them advantageous opportunities.
But Ash still not with her Infinity Edge. She is definitely behind this game. 0-1-3, that's not ideal. The Caitlyn has the Infinity Edge and the Seal already, giving her extra attack speed, move speed, and crit chance.
So you're saying it's good that she went for the Infinity Edge now?
Well, it's good that she has an Infinity Edge. She could have still built boots first, but you know, I'm pretty sure Big Fat is better at this game than me, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing there. It was a risk. The kill against him was probably not due to boots, I'll admit that, but it's a large risk that people are taking when they delay their boots so much.
Looks like Swain is pushing top by himself. He could get the damage on this turret. The minions will do it for him. They were able to pick up more global gold right there, 28.7 or 28,700 gold to 22,900 gold. So as we said, the 6,000 difference before, it could be hurting CLG a little bit, but that's not really a big difference if you divide that up amongst everybody, unless it's all going to one person. Then you kind of got to be worried. Caitlyn traps going all around. It's really where CLG is trying to get their vision from. You see a few wards, but they're all in CLG's jungle. They're really trying to counter the invasion of Fnatic at this point in time, and Fnatic's not doing too much invading at this right now. They're able to stay in their own jungle, commit to the fights around the turrets, and really do the damage they need to do out in the open. They don't have to worry about breaking line of sight in the jungle or trying to take them off guard. And I don't think they really like the situation that happened last time when they were hiding in the top bush.
Yeah, that was not very good. And they probably thought, okay, guys, let's just play this carefully right now. If we lose this, we're out of this. It looked like they were setting up for Dragon, and yes, they're going back for Dragon, but they have to be a little bit careful with Warwick in their team. CLG can do Baron really quickly if they leave it completely open, but I think there are no wards currently. Yeah, no wards in front of Dragon, so but they have a clairvoyance. They see what's up. They could be going for Baron right now, but they probably don't feel confident enough that they have the damage output necessary to kill Baron, and Fnatic are coming back.
Oh man, we could have a lane pinch here. bigfatlp taking down the turret with his team. Will they choose to go down? Warwick actually going down Sprit from his team. That would have been a very easy kill if they went to take him right there. I'm going to check. Yeah, Warwick does have his flash, so they may have just been wasting cooldowns on that with the rest of the team on the other side. They did not want the Annie drop to come over that wall. They know what happens.
Yeah, exactly. And Ash was not quite in position yet, so probably wise of Fnatic not to engage here. But they need to take this fight. After the Dragon, they need to take this fight. And I had heard an Ash arrow, I believe, but they would have been too far away. Oh, there it is. Oh, and it hits bigfatlp again. But I believe he's too far away. No!
No, he's not. They stop him, and the never move again.
Wow.
Twice. They were able to make that combination happen. Very good placement by Fnatic, and they are just using that 1-2-3 combo, putting Caitlyn up against the ropes and not allowing her to do anything.
This is perfect play right here, and I even doubted them. I thought, no, there's no way they're going to cross this distance, but obviously the Ash arrow stuns for longer the longer it travels, and that was a good travel distance there right now, and it was enough for them, and that's an inner turret going down against CLG right here.
Yeah, Fnatic doing a very good job coming out strong. CLG was able to take the first turret. Bottom turret went down quickly after, but now Fnatic again back on their lane game, back around controlling the map. We're going to see the creep score right now in favor of Fnatic. They have 3 over 150, and it's only going to be 1 person over 150 right now for CLG. So again, they're being throttled in the lanes. They're not allowed to farm, and every time they try, they're met with 5 members of Fnatic. Blue pilling, does he know? Yes, he definitely has enough time. They're not going to head in. Jana doesn't even know that he was there. Hotshot is like, oh, somebody may be in this bush. I'll face check it. It looks like they could be heading up towards Baron. We'll just see what they're trying to pull. They don't really see too much vision of Fnatic right now, so maybe that's what they're trying to do, get Fnatic to walk through the wards that they have placed.
It would have been a desperation, Baron. They don't have Blood Razor on Warwick, and even though that Lantern block does work against Baron, it's probably not going to be enough damage to just sneak a Baron. Fnatic will get suspicious if CLG are missing from the lanes for too long, and they'll go there and CV it or just check it. And if CLG loses a Baron fight right now, that's it. Game over.
We can see in the hands of Fnatic, they have 6 wards being placed. No wards in the hands of CLG, but they are relying on that Wriggles Lantern, as you mentioned before, from Warwick. So he's only able to place them out once every so often, and he's been using that. There was one that went out at Baron. That has fallen down now. I believe Sona may have an Oracle's on her as well, and I think she does. I just saw that on, unless she walked into a Caitlyn trap. But I don't think that was the case. A quick Q from the hands of Caitlyn. A great amount of critical damage. You can see 735 on the minions. And so once she gets that armor penetration within her build, she's definitely going to be able to do a ton of damage to the Nunu, a good amount of damage to the Gragas, and pretty much cut down Swain no matter what during the fight if she can stay behind the defensive line. And we said before, CLG not a very tanky team at this point, so they could easily be taken down in the fight as well by the Gragas ult. We see how much damage that does to Caitlyn. The Never Move also doing a lot of damage in the hands of Swain, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and donate the blue buff away. That should be going to Swain in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gragas now up to 364 AP with a Death Cap, Hextech Revolver, a Sheen, and another Amplifying Tone. So that's going to be a setup for... Oh, let's see if that arrow connects to anything. It connects... Oh, wow. Okay, that jump, I'm just going to say it again, probably would have been too far away, but who knows? Who knows what they can make happen?
That did seem like it would have been too far away. They really would have been overextending themselves to go and get that one and try and get everybody in position in time. They have pushed CLG back to the base. They do see that this has happened. Shushei looks like he may want to initiate this, but a lot of members of Fnatic or CLG moving up, not enough time to be able to do Baron. They notice that they're all missing from the map. No wards really there, but they do have the Clairvoyant, so they can quickly make the assumption and check it out if they need to. It looks like they're all going to go back to mid. Get this push down. That's huge amount of damage on Caitlyn, taking half of her health. Tibbers goes down, and they are not able to take out anybody with that. I think that was a misclick by the hands of Elementz as he threw down Tibbers in the middle of the lane out of nowhere.
I don't think so. I think he thought his team was ready, but they just weren't, and they were so scared of that barrel that they just moved back. The Tibbers landed perfectly, and the Warwick out followed up on Ash, but that was it. I mean, and he died right away, and Warwick died right away. And Lamia, look at him, he's fine. He's like, yeah, you took 200 health of me. Yeah, that's great for you.
That was a great disperse by Fnatic. I think they all dodged the Tibbers at that point in time, not taking too much damage, and Annie not having her stun up as well, so they were able to just kind of walk out of that. Seeing the wards right through the bush, Janna gets taken. Will she get never moved as well from that position? They're waiting for her to move. She goes to ult, so her ult is down, and she goes down. Very good timing there, taking that out, thinking she could save herself. Looks like they will still be able to go for Baron on this one. Caitlyn on the other side, if they do not have the CV, their Janna is down. The CV is also down, and this is going to be a free Baron for Fnatic. A lot of gold, a lot of experience, and a huge power play for them in this game right now. The lanes are only to mid. Like I said, this is not going to allow CLG to farm. Their creep score has not really moved yet. Still only one member above 150 creeps. Now 235 for Shushei.
Wow.
As a melee character, just being able to throw melee slightly ranged with the barrels, and that's pretty much destroying every creep wave he comes up to. So they're able to push their lanes very, very fast and give CLG that much more of a hard time to get out and get what they need to do, get the team fight that they want like they had in the top bush earlier.
And there's the Will of the Ancients for Gragas, I'd say borderline OP item at the moment. It's let's put it that way. In certain team comps, it's extremely, extremely strong, and Europe is dominated by dual AP meta. That just means you are definitely going to have a buddy in the team who is going to benefit from the additional AP, the additional spell vamp a lot. So that is just going to make xPeke very, very happy to have that.
Swain is going to definitely be unstoppable. xPeke very happy about that situation. They see the body slam just destroying those first minions. They're going to go ahead and again give this to xPeke. He is not even near losing that blue buff, but they're still going to refresh it. Probably had a good 30 seconds to a minute left, and they're going to go ahead and go bottom lane. No, they don't even need to. That lane is pushed already. They may find Caitlyn here a little bit overextended, and even if she isn't, Gragas is going to make sure that she is.
Yes, he will overextend her personally. We have seen that before, and that seems to be a very painful process because most of her health bar turns red when that happens.
Yeah, not something you want to have happen, actually. The never move going down just to kind of disperse everybody from guarding the lane. Minions coming up, and he's even taking down the melee minions right away with those key barrels. Never move going down once again. xPeke really not worried about wasting mana at this point. Tibber goes down, and it does have the stun as they focus on Shushei. Quite tanky. They will be able to take down Saintvicious. Warwick falls. Chauster taking a lot of damage as he comes out of the Sanguine pool. He will go down as well. HotshotGG falls to the hands of Shushei. That is 3, 4, and the ace is down. A huge push by Fnatic, and looking very grim for CLG at this point.
Questionable decision from Elementz there to drop that Tibbers down and force his team into a team fight, because once that Tibbers is down, that's a large investment, and you just don't want to just say, well, you drop Tibbers, I'm gonna hang back here where it's safe. So it's basically, it's him saying go, and that was not a good go at all.
Wow, it looks like they will go for this one. Nunu taking the first one. They're gonna go for the ultimate. xPeke will be the one taking, and it looks like this will be game. However, they do have 3 members coming up right now, so they may be able to push them off. No, it's gonna be a 5v2 situation, and ladies and gentlemen, Fnatic able to push CLG back to the 5th place game, and that is a GG. Fnatic wins 2 over CLG, needing 1 here at DreamHack.
I'm happy. Are you happy?
Wow. xPeke making the difference.
Well, Joe Miller put it very nicely yesterday. He said, from a neutral perspective, this is the best outcome because we're going to have 2 European and 2 North American teams.
This is true.
The final brackets. So, very, very good game, and I'm happy to see these team comps working out so nicely. That's just, it's a pleasure to watch that kind of team play, that kind of level of coordination. And CLG, to be frank, they seemed clueless. They had no answer. They were like, we know what's coming.
A little being caught off guard and out of position a lot. And even if you weren't out of position, like we said, Gragas is going to make that happen.
Yeah.
If you were a little overstepping, if you were trying to farm at your own turret, you get busted out, you get hit with the Ash Arrow, then never move. I really didn't think they were actually going to go for that combo.
No.
I was like, oh, they'll be out of position.
That's
Somebody's not
perfect
going to be
call.
there to make it happen. You know, you're not going to be able to get the never move on. Ash may be able to move in time, or Caitlyn rather. But no, 1, 2, 3. They did it almost 3 times in a row. And they were able to take down Caitlyn in a matter of seconds. That left them to take down another turret, and really amazing gameplay from Fnatic. We can see 3 people over 200 creep score on the screen, and still, by the end of the game, Elementz had 143 and Chauster had 140, what is that, 6, but bigfatlp was the only one to make it over 150 creep score, which means lane control. Fnatic doing a very good job of making sure those turrets go down. Their roam game, without even really having the roam characters, it just exceptional.
And yeah, you must secretly be a pro because you called that 100% perfectly, that Ash Arrow into Gragas ulti.
That's
never
awesome.
move. That was just wonderful. And yeah, you don't even need to stand out of position. You just need to stand in the front row. Even if you are under your tower, like bigfatlp learned the hard way, if there is no tank in front of you to take that Ash Arrow, you're going to get the Ash Arrow in the face, and then Gragas is going to get in range.
So was this the A team you were talking about that they had?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Nope. They still have an ace up their sleeve. This was not the team I'm talking about. Yeah. So actually, the team I'm talking about would probably not have worked that well against it. It's built against a different sort of meta game, but I think we're still going to believe, we're still going to see it in this game. So if we have a little time, we could switch to my screen and go to the scoreboard here. And we can see exactly what Rivington III was talking about here a moment ago. Look at that, 246, 208, 205. That's exactly what you want to see. And wow.
Very big.
408, 416, 504. That's the 3 damage dealers here in Team Fnatic, and they got all the kills, they got all the CS. It couldn't have gone more perfectly for them, whereas in the other team, it's not even that clear who the damage dealers should have been. I guess Annie, Vlad, and Caitlyn. But Vlad building very, very tanky here. I'm not even sure what he was building. I mean, there's a Negatron cloak, there's a Giant's belt.
Yeah, you can see how much that lane control hurts. Really only, as you said, Caitlyn with her final build. Everybody's still with partial builds, getting their pieces, getting the combinations and the recipes that they need, but not able to finish that build is really what hurts. And you're forced to, at one point, you know, save your money or get an item that will still help and have to, you know, sell it later, which is never what you want to do because you're losing gold in that situation.
Let's have a look at the damage done stats here. We have these very shiny graphs here, and we can see very clearly a very clear picture here. The lowest damage done on xPeke is about the same as the highest damage done. I mean, the lowest damage done amongst the damage dealers is the same as the highest on CLG. So we can definitely see where the damage was coming from here, and this was exactly how Fnatic planned this. If we go back to the main scoreboard, you can see that Fnatic xPeke was building very, very tanky. The Rod of Ages, that extra health, the Abyssal Scepter, that extra magic resist. So he basically said, I'm going to go in, I'm going to turn to a giant bird, I'm going to heal up and take as much damage as you want to dish out, and I'm going to be just fine. And, you know, Shushei with his extremely aggressive build, just working so very, very perfectly. And I have to say, it's looking really good for Fnatic right now. They are going to make it to the finals if they keep this up.
Yeah, if they can continue this play. Now, we really didn't see any composition that CLG brought to the table in these matches that really helped them against the Fnatic team. So we'll have to see if somebody else can do that. Maybe Epic, maybe AAA can bring that to the table.
AAA is going to be scary because that is the long-standing rivalry in Europe. Fnatic versus AAA. It's crossed the games. It's been the same. Fnatic versus SK would be the main rivalry, but Fnatic versus AAA has been the main rivalry from back when Fnatic was still called Perth or was still called My Revenge. And I think we're going to cut over to their players right now and have a quick interview.
Yep.
Hello, so that was just a really epic game with CLG versus Fnatic, and I'm here with HotshotGG, who played Janna in that last game. So it was obviously a really huge match for you guys. You know, that did put you back into 5th place, but, you know, what were your thoughts overall?
I thought the other team, Fnatic, played very well, and they picked very well, and they just totally outpicked us. We kind of underestimated them first game, and we kind of wanted to try something new with Mundo and etc., and it just wasn't our strength, and we just fell from there.
What in particular did you try that wasn't your strength?
Well, we just tried new things like Mundo and things we haven't really tried before, and that didn't work out well, and we didn't take their Ashe away, and that was the key factor to every game.
Right. And I know there was definitely some surprise during the champion select. Like they kind of almost took some of your champions from that first game. And was that a surprise for you guys? Did you know what to expect coming out of that?
We got all the heroes we wanted. We expected everything, and I think the only thing that we didn't really expect was the Ashe pick at the very start, first pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a really big moment in the match where there was a ward at top, and you guys were able to initiate onto them with a great Timber stun. However, you weren't really able to repeat that throughout the rest of the game. They seemed to learn from that, kind of dispersed a little bit. I mean, did you guys have another how to counter that a little bit?
Well, the initial Timber stun that we did top and we succeeded with, we didn't execute it properly, and we didn't clean up what we should have. So that was our downfall after that, and they were just too ahead for us to come back. Top lane was pretty much dominated. Bottom lane is a free farm, but random Ashe arrows really contribute to winning lanes in top and bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. And right at the very end, there was a big showdown in bottom lane. They got an ace off on you guys, and can you describe kind of what happened there?
Well, at that point, they were just way too strong, and they were too far ahead, and it was pretty much over at that point.
All right, and so your next game is going to be against Gamed for 5th place. What are your thoughts going into that game?
We're just going to play standard, try what we always do, and hopefully we'll be able to win.
Great. Well, best of luck to you, and over to Tamit.
All right, and we're here with Becca from Fnatic. Congratulations, that was an awesome game. Good job. How do you feel?
Awesome. That's the only word I can say now. Really awesome.
Awesome. I love how you gave the crowd a big old Demacia right after your victory. That was a good touch. So one of the things that really, you guys did good in the last 2 games was your picks and ban strategy was just really clutch. Tell me a little bit about your decisions there.
Well, we knew exactly what to want, like Nidalee, TF, and Rumble. In first game, they had first pick, that we just took out Rumble. We didn't want them to pick it. In second game, they have to pick it out. So we had first pick and another extra ban. So we just went for our usual picks, and we know that their Anivia player is really good, and we saw a chance to first pick it, so we just first pick it, and after that counter picking pretty much with all the others.
All right, so in secrecy, just between me and you, and then the 40,000 or so viewers out there, how confident were you actually going into this game? Did you think you guys had a real chance, or were you sweating pretty hard?
I knew the nerves would be a big fact. I didn't play. This is my first match, I said, 2 rounds, so I was really, really nervous. I know some of my team were kind of not motivated because of yesterday, but I know we had high chance. For sure, if we play like we have done, we have high chance of winning.
So you're still not out of the woods. You've got some fierce competition coming up. You're going to be facing off against Epic Games here in the near future. What's your thoughts on that?
Winning? That's the rhyme. We're going to win for sure, at least 1 round for sure. We're not going to lose 2-0 that match.
What do you think is going to be your obviously you can't go into your big strategy, but what do you think really sets you guys aside?
What do you mean, decide?
What do you think gives you edge against Team Epic?
Epic, well, I saw the match they played against them without me, and they kind of had it won, but they just lose it by some stupid little mistakes, not right focusing, which I think they could have won it without me perfectly if they just focused it a bit more. So I think doing the same they did with me and not having mistake will be enough.
All right, well, thank you so much, and good luck in your next games. We've got more action coming right up, so stay tuned. Back to you guys.